Islam, Islam, Islam. Islam, Islam. Islam, Islam. Islam.
Hey, California, the Mission Free. California was trying to keep people.
Oh, yeah, make sure y'all sign in. Secretary, make sure everybody sign in. They sign in with the regular thing. How you doing, man? Well, y'all got a light? Y'all got a light on?
It's the same density, but it's
You see the warfare? Yeah, I see you come ready, boy. I see you. Yeah, I see you. Don't come ready quick. It's take long to adjust. No, I don't. I do. I do quick. That's what I like to see, man. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. You know, to listen to it. Thing. I feel a little warm and everything. So I look sweet up to the up a little bit. So there you go. Thank you. What? Special. I got a special message for today. Special. What we want to say today. Woo! On the first day. Yeah, thank you. I ain't had none. I ain't had to tell you. I'm just off the top of the head. Okay. And, late. But I got late myself. Put your phones on silent. Come on, Governor.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Governor, can you start us off with the warnings?
Islam.
Our government officials, please rise. Secretary AGS. For the reading of the warnings.
A warning from the Prophet for all governors and grand sheiks and head officials of all temples. Friday, October 26, 1928. Renew your acts, amend your ways, because a great conference is on its way, and in it is where the law will be enforced before the great grand body. The continuance of the present officers in the temple will depend on your past good works or good work. Those who have been delinquent may now know that they will not be tolerated any longer, because this great divine and national movement must move on according to law. These things shall be proclaimed. There is no favorite in any of the temples, for the law is laid down, and everyone who claims a part of the work must be governed accordingly. All are one. There is but one temple in this nation, and there is but one prophet of the temples. I come to speak to all nations, bringing them a message of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. In the head of every temple, if anyone has violated these divine laws, it will mean his discontinuance. For no man is to be under the influence of intoxicating liquors, nor to seek to tear up the families while under the influence of evil motive, nor must he speak anything that will prejudice the minds of the public against the divine movement. If any of the laws are violated, anybody, grand sheik or sheiks, can file charge against the violation to the grand body over which the prophet presides. This power is vested in 7 or more sheiks for the protection of your temple and divine movement. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Go ahead and read the next one.
A prophet warns all Muslims governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. Friday, January 15th, 1929. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive the reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. Islam. Oh, that's not it. Pardon me. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Noble Drew Ali.
Thank you, Governor. Please remain seated. Stand for the reading of the Constitution. Salvation, Allah, unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7, in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865, during the time of slavery. But this is a new era in time now, and all men now must proclaim a free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live in the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jalali the Prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faith. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Jalali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. You can now be seated. Islam, Islam, Islam. It's time to break out the gum. What's up, you doing? We'll do that. I want to rise and give perfect praise, Father God, Allah. But Allah don't know where I be. When I ain't call him Allah, he's still with me. All honest, and highest honest. My brother, know what you are with. His message, the prophet, El-Had Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. He came and brought us his nationality and divine creed. At a time when our people was calling themselves Negro, black, colored, Ethiopians, Indians, all types of marks you have on this. The forerunner, the harbinger, our John the Baptist, who came and stirred up the pot for the prophet to prepare the people for the coming of the prophet. The Quran say only the pure heart can recognize the king. And this brother definitely was pure-hearted. Marcus Mosiah Garden, Bay. I call him a Bay because of the works he put in. He was indeed a Bay. All honest to our Quran. All honest to our Constitution. All honest to the members. All honest to my staff of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Unity Temple 84. One of the newest temples. To improve, I should say. Round up. All honest to all the faithful members. The prophet said the new members is going to come in and sit you old boys to the back and carry out my work. We ain't going to kick them out, but it's time for the new members to put in the work. So all honest to our prophet, all honest to our temple. It may be a little warm, a little hot in here. All honest to this temple. Islam? Now, we've been going over some real deep civics. We've been getting into name corrections, going down to the county recordings, inside courtrooms. We done been inside buildings. We done went out there in Newark, New Jersey. That's the Newark, New Jerusalem. Where the prophet started his first temple. Then came to the Mecca, Chicago. And then extended temples all over North America. So today, I want to talk about name correction, identity. How do we identify ourselves? Because we know about a name correction, but how can we switch our names back and forth? How can we switch our nationalities? Because these things are not truly us. Who are we? Who is we really? Deep down inside. How can you go from black, Negro, and colored to be Moorish American? The Quran say man cannot change his lineage. I'm going to activate this Circle 7 Quran, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali. By the guidance of his Father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his simple and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life, with his Father God, Allah. And before we go into these secret lessons, because these are secret lessons, see, these lessons has never been revealed until the prophet came on the northwest shores of North America. And the first instructions, we always go past some things, but I want to go to the first instructions when you open up your Quran. It says, know thyself in Allah. So do we truly know who we are? Because we have to correct who we are because we didn't know who we was. So we have to know thyself. Who are you? Is the question for today. What is your identity? How do you identify yourself? See, in the Holy Scriptures of the Bible, the first thing Adam did was go around naming everything. But what was these things before he gave them a name? What were you before your mother gave you a name? See, these secret lessons reveal to us who we truly are. See, when you look into the United Nations Declarations of Indigenous Peoples, it said that everybody has the right to change their nationality But when you look at the definition of nationality, it deals with your character and your allegiance. So, is your nationality truly who you are? Or is these are titles that we give ourselves to identify something, to make allegiance to something, to tie us back to something? See, when we say nationality as Moorish American, we are tying ourselves back to the ancient Moabites. But who was the ancient Moabite? We have to go in chapter 1. I don't know what page is that in the revised version. Go ahead, you can let us know. Page 2. Page 2 in the revised version of the Koran. Chapter 1 starts with the creation and the fall of man. See, a lot of times we skip past these titles. And y'all know me, when I open up my lessons, I love to go into these titles. Because these titles is not to be skipped over. Because the title summarizes what the chapter is even talking about. But the title itself has to be decoded. It says the creation and the fall of man. Who is man? Because are we just talking about marriage? Talking about the mind. Man stands for mankind. Humanity. So we talking about people as a whole. See, we was created and we fell. But what did we fall from? And what is the definition of fall? See, the definition of fall goes into being a descendant. It's not a bad thing that we fell. See, we came here for a reason. By chance of luck, we actually decided to come here. We are descendants of Allah. Open up this lesson. Time never was when man was not. If life in man at any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed. No finite mind can cover things infinite. All finite things are subject unto change. All finite things will cease to be because there was a time when there was not. The bodies and the souls of men are finite things, and they will change. Yea, from the finite point of view, the time will come when they will be no more. But man himself is not the body nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. Woo! So a lot of times we think we the body. A lot of times we think we the soul. A lot of times we think we these names and titles. But that's not what the Quran say. The Quran say man, who is us as a whole, is a spirit and a part of Allah. So the first instruction is to know thyself. So first thing, you got to know who you are. You're not the body nor the soul. You are a spirit. A spirit. A spirit is something you can't see. Can you see the spirit? No. Where is the spirit? It's inside of us. See, we've been clothed with a soul. We've been clothed with a body. And then we put clothes on the body. Then we put the fez on the head, turbans on the head, jewelry on, etc., grow our hair. All these things are not us. These things will form and they will see. So I'm going to go and skip through the chapter and know thyself. Because that's the first instruction. Know thyself. Page 72 in Revised Version. Got the Revised Version, page 50. This is chapter 36. If you following along, chapter 36. Holy instruction from the prophet, know thyself. Verse 1. Weak and ignorant as thou art, O man, humble as thou oughtest to be, O child of the dust. Wouldst thou raise thy thoughts to infinite wisdom? Wouldst thou see omnipotence displayed before thee? Contemplate thy frame. That's a lesson right there in itself. We was made weak and ignorant. Yet we want to be powerful and think we're strong and big and bad. See, you ought to be humble. You ought to contemplate this frame you have. Because it was created and will be destroyed. We all are born equal. But we like to say, oh, I'm better than others, right? When we need to raise our thoughts to infinite wisdom. Because see, when you wake up out from dreams, sometimes you don't remember some things. See, when we came into this flesh, we didn't remember where we came from. We didn't remember where we fell from. So that's why we have to have instructions to bring us back to where we come from. This is the whole point of this temple. This is the point of our holy prophet even came to us. Because in 1913, all the way into now, the person say, brother, you're not black, colored, Negro, and they'll argue with you. Station. They'll say, oh man, I'm a U.S. citizen. Why? Because the U.S. government got control over their mind. See, when you talk about government, it comes from governmental. So we talking about governmental. But the mental is the mind. That's who you are. So they learn how to go into the mind and reclassify you. How do they reclassify? By the caste system. What's the caste system? It's some classification. Negro, black, and colored. See, we got something that Allah gave us that no man can take away. And that's the spirit. See, by the spirit, you live forever. But by man law, these European, pale-skinned nations of Europe, they reclassify you to get you out of knowing who you are. See, if you don't know yourself, how can you know? Because you are part of Allah. So if you don't even know who you are, how can you even know? Let's go into the chapter of religion. Page 69, chapter 35. That's the previous chapter, right before know thyself. Then it says, know Allah. Verse 1 said, there was but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. The sun is not Allah, though his noblest image. He enlightened the world with his brightness. His warmth giving life to the products of the earth. Admire him as the creature, the instrument of Allah, but worship him not. To the one who is supreme, most wise and beneficent, to him alone belong worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. So we don't honor. We don't honor Allah. We praise Allah. We don't praise man. We honor man. See, you got to know yourself and then know Allah. See, because our people, like the Koran say, think not with Egypt, the Egyptians, because they praise the sun. So the prophet had to come set us straight on that. See, the universe was Allah. No. The universe is not Allah. The sun is a noblest image. Allah is the creator. See, the universe will be destroyed one day. Because it was created. The sun can be destroyed. It was created. these bodies, your soul, can be destroyed. Because all these things were created by Allah, the creator and the governor of the world. See, law governs all events, but Allah is the governor. So he's the one who established the law. He gave us this law. That's why we have a divine constitution. Because these laws came through the guidance of his father, God Allah, through Noble Drew Ali, as our messenger. See, when you go and listen to that first mind, what we call the first man, he speaks to you if you're quiet enough. If you just hushed up sometime and listen, you can hear him speak to you. See, our prophet has somebody speak to him that speaks to all of us. And he came and brought us this message so we can uplift ourselves to infinite wisdom. Because the wisdom we got, it was not enough. It was on. So we know we the spirit, but what is the spirit? Let's go into chapter 37. The holy instructions from the prophet, the breath of heaven. See, the breath is what we call the spirit. Can you see the breath? No. But you can feel it. You can blow the breath on your hand. You can blow it on the window. See the little hot thing come on the window. See, this is what the spirit is. Because when you lose the breath, you lost life. See, you can lose an arm and still live. You can lose a leg and still live. But that breath ain't never going nowhere. I'm going to read this, verse 1. But not the body, because it was formed, nor thy brain, because therein the soul resides. Is not the master of the house more honorable than its walls? See, we looking at the frame of us and identifying off that. Oh, I'm black. I'm brown. I'm light skinned. I'm dark skinned. Beautiful. Clothed with a soul. Clothed with a flesh. Do something way more higher than these names. That's why we can correct them. That's why no other man can tell you who you are once you know who you are. We can go on a county recorder in front of a judge and tell them who we are once we have these secret lessons, these holy instructions, and these divine instructions from the holy prophet. Because the prophet told us who we were. See, we thought we came from Indians. That's what I was told. But we come back from tribes way more ancient than the Indian tribe. We came from the ancient Moorish, the ancient Canaanites, the ancient Hamathites. The oldest tribes that's even in your Bible. These tribes take you all the way back to the book of genetics, what you call the book of Genesis. So that's why the first thing we got to do is follow what Adam did. We have to name everything. So we got to rename ourselves because we've been casted out, the Holy City. By following the teachings of those who's already casted out. So now we have to go back and correct these things. How do we correct these things? The prophet said, Act 6, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. What does proclaim mean? Proclaim means to publish it. What good it does you if nobody knows who you are? If you're not publishing it, means bring it to the public. See, everywhere I go, I'm trying to put on my face. I don't take it off. Because this right here is proclamation. This is telling the public who I am. So, because you take this off, how would they know you from the Negro, black, and colored? See, you accepting their teaching. You want to put on their snapbacks. Put on their weaves, their wigs. Those are the ones. See, when you put on this fast, it represents something. It represents infinite wisdom. And it represents knowledge of self. See, when the other nations see this and they know what this is, oh, they give you high honors. They say, okay, the Moorish know who they is now. They know who they is now. And now they open up the doors for you. Now they reveal certain secrets to you that they've been holding on. So let's go into the beginning of this. Is this the only chapter that has no chapter? But this is I call it interlude. Page 3, maybe. It may be in your book. I don't know what page 1 in the Revised Version. 3 in yours as well. Know thyself and not Father God Allah. I'm going to skip down to the last paragraph. The lessons of this pamphlet are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity, as I am the prophet, and the servant is worthy of his hire, you can receive this pamphlet at expense. The reason, now this is what the prophet can explain to you. The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secrets and kept them back from the outside world. From the outside world. And when the time appointed by Allah, they loosened the keys and freed these secrets. And for the first time in ages, have these secrets been delivered into the hands of the Muslims of America. Woo! See what I mean? It's whole countries and civilizations and governments that know who you is, and they've been holding on to this key, and they never released it to us. Because the time wasn't right. Because we didn't have a holy prophet that come and put a fez on his head and say, I know who I am. Not loosen these keys. Because see, they kept these from the outside world. See, how they know you from the rest of the outside world? Because you know yourself. And that's what the lesson is. So we need to be working. We got work to do. Now that we know ourselves, we are accountable. We have responsibility now. See, we come up this generation, we the new Moors, right? But we got another generation watching us, following our footsteps. And if we don't do the work as the prophet instructed us to do, then we leaving on the next generation to pick up where we left off. The scraps and bits and pieces we got. See, why come we ain't got no recordings of the prophet? Why come we ain't got many pictures of the prophet? Why come we ain't got explanation of why the prophet had a Subaru on right here, on the boat, coming from Cuba? Why? Real to us. So we must take these small pieces we have, put them together like a puzzle. And we got to finish this puzzle. And the first step we have to do is identify ourselves to the public. We have to proclaim everywhere we go. Not just play the half play the fool by the half. You can't go out there and be a fool again. You have to be a full-time model. Social group. This is the government. And by being Moorish American, you are part of the government. And must live life accordingly. Must live life accordingly. Not just live in a temple. Your whole life got to be according to a government official. Everywhere I go, I'm on my square. We got to stay in the mind frame of what these lessons is, because it's teachings out there to derail you off course, put you back in slavery, in the bondage system. See, we always was given a birth certificate and the IDs and the social security cards and numbers and things that they told you to identify yourself by. That is not you. We not no ID card. We not a social security card. We not a birth certificate card. We are a spirit and a part of our life. Man, mind, the whole humanity, like minds, come together. See, this body is the temple. And this temple we in is only a reflection of what's inside of us. So when we come about this temple, we still in the temple. See, you never leave the temple because you never. What they call it? Oh man, I got outside my body. Because you done forgot who you is deep down. As you constantly reflect on it. And then you have to be silent. You have to go into meditation. When all this noise going on around you because Allah is inside you talking. How you going to hear him when you talking all the time? How you going to hear him when you listen? What's the most important voice? See, it's a saying that goes like this. People never take their own advice. See, you give yourself the best advice. Now, a lot of times people give advice to other people that's better than they give themselves. Why come you can't give yourself that advice? Because you ain't listening to yourself. I'm probably self. That's somebody good put in. I thought I had it on vibration. Nah. So we have to remain inside and know who he is. Know that we are spirit at all times. And if you live your life according to this, then you can invoke a power on yourself that nobody can take away from you. Because you start to realize that you infinite, immortal. Man cannot die. Because man is part of our life. We have a living Allah, a living great God. Our God ain't the God of the dead. He's the God of the living. So if they can't destroy our life, who've been here before we even call him Allah, we call him God or Jesus or whatever we might call Allah. But at the end of the day, it's the higher self. It's the spirit. It's the breath. See, that's the breath we take for granted. But yet, we breathe all day. Islam? So that's my lesson for today. I want to call my next oracle speaker, my AGS. Islam. Been with me since day one, since I met this brother, been a faithful member. Islam. This brother still continues to be a faithful member. And he even brought more faithful members. You can always judge the tree by the fruit it bears. What type of people are around you? See, you ain't gonna catch too many people around me unless they know themselves. Because I can't be confused with the outside world and accept their teachings. Because they don't even know who they is, so how can they give? So I yield the floor, AGS. Islam. Salvation. All right. Unity. Islam.
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 Islam. Islamism. King of Supreme Ill, King of Praise your Ill. It's a pleasure to be before y'all. Nina Ill priestess, man. It's a pleasure to see you. Nina, she Khalifa. She Khalifa territory. She down in Houston with us. And say Hootie, Tay House. You know what I'm saying? It's a pleasure to have you with us. Pleasure to see you, man. Really happy to see you, man. It came down to the sound, man. Just got something real quick to resonate think on, man. We Moorish, this Morocco, it's like a rich place, a very wealthy place. You know, I got my brother, my sister here, you know what I'm saying? Tonight, James Denson Bay, I brought them here with me, you know, and even talking about it beforehand to like further let them know when I got going on self-building and like self-enrichment to the extent where I just found out that we some of the ancient, most, you know, wealthy, like we the noblest, we the most, we some of the, so you know, the best type of human beings on earth. I would say we know we more. So whether I'm a black man, an Asian, a white man, I feel like where we at is Moors, and knowing that we Moors in Morocco, it's a big thing. It's more than money. It's more than gold. It's more than saying I got a mansion of money and a lot of stuff that we cherish, right? So I only brought y'all here because, you know, the wealth of this knowledge of self, like, brings you to that abundance state, like I told y'all, that y'all can create and have whatever y'all own out here. We can have and live the life that we really feel we deserve. And then without the physical thing, we can understand we work more. We work more than what's given us, you know what I'm saying? The people we grew up with, people we see, we watch TV, we watch these things. So they give us this false impression of what's value and how you're supposed to be seen as value. And so we adorn ourselves with stuff. We have thoughts. We become mean, happy, good or bad people based on saying, I got this, I don't got this, you know what I'm saying? So I know as people, as more, we're going to have to come to a better understanding of what's value, of how we value ourselves, how we see what's oh, this the rich man, he's rich, he's poor, you know. I gave Zanae a book about the 5%ers, and one of their concepts is the poor righteous teachers, to the extent where, like, the Wu-Tang, you know, they famous, they, you know, they probably got finances, whatever, to the extent where they'll tell you, no matter what I have physically, you know, poor righteous teachers, we're here to give as 5%ers to the 85%, 10%. We're here to teach, and we can't own nothing. Nothing is art. No matter what I have, it's of no value. You know, I can't possess nothing. Because, like you said, we spirit. We the holy breath. Spirituality is the art of breathing. You know, that's a crazy concept for people. Think they spiritual. I'm so spiritual. Your breath, the stuff you say, how you move in life, you're not really spiritual. How you breathing, how you moving, it's not spirituality. But I said all that to say, I'm gonna read chapter. This is 27, the holy unity of the rich and the poor. You know, chapter 27 is 59 in the, you know, the bridge, hard version. Chapter 27, page 59. So I just brought up this chapter to the extent, you know, as more as we got to instill into ourselves. And then as we talking to people, they want to know what we got going on. We rich in mind and wealth to the extent where no matter what we possess, we can possess a lot financially. It can be in the opposite type of sense to this. So we don't have a lot of people, and we're still very rich and wealthy people. So our thing is to make it to me. You know, we bring our higher selves and our higher minds to fruition, and we live the higher life and have the things that's supposed to be due to us, the things that compliments as noble Moors, you know, as the Moroccans, as the heirs of this land, as the descendants of this rich land, you know. So when we talk about the money, the monopoly money being fiat, you know, so we got to understand we the wealth, we're the money, the gold, it's all this us, you know. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start chapter 27, the holy unity of the rich and the poor. 1. The man to whom Allah hath given riches and blessed with a mind to employ them aright is peculiarly favored and highly distinguished. 2. He looketh upon his wealth with pleasure, because it afforded him the means to do good. 3. He protecteth the poor that are injured. He suffereth not the mighty to oppress the weak. 4. He seeketh out objects of compassion. He inquireth into their wants. He relieveth them with judgments and without ostentation. 5. He assisteth and rewardeth merit. He encouraged ingenuity and liberally promoted every useful design. 6. He carried his own great work, his works, his country is enriched, and the labor is employed. He formeth new schemes and the arts receive improvement. 7. He considers the superfluities of his table as belonging to the poor of his neighborhood, and he departed them not. 8. The benevolence of his mind is not checked by his fortune. He rejoiceth therefore in riches, and his joy is blameless. 9. But woe unto him that heapeth up wealth in abundance, and rejoiceth alone in the possession thereof. They grindeth the face of the poor, and considereth not the sweat of their brow. 10. He driveth out on oppression without feeling. The ruin of his brother disturbeth him not. 11. The tears of the orphan he drinketh as milk. The cries of the widow are music to his ear. 12. His heart hardened with the love of wealth. No grief or distress can make impression upon him. 13. But the curse of iniquity pursueth him. He liveth in continual fear. The anxiety of his mind and the rapacious desires of his own soul take vengeance upon him for the calamities he has brought upon others. 14. Oh, what are the miseries of poverty in comparison with the gnawings of this man's heart? 15. Let the poor man comfort himself. Yes, rejoice, for he has many reasons. 16. He sitteth down to his morsel in peace. His table is not crowded with flatterers and devourers. 17. He is not embarrassed with the train of dependents, nor teased with the clamors of solicitations. 18. Debarred from the dainties of the rich, he escapeth also their diseases. 19. The bread that he eateth is not so sweet to his taste. The bread that he eateth is not so sweet to his taste. The water he drinketh is not so pleasant to his thirst. Yea, far more delicious water than the richest draughts of the luxurious. 20. His labor preserveth his wealth, and procureth him a repose, to which the downy bed of sloth is a strange partnership. 21. He liveth his desires with humility, and the calm of contentment is sweet to his soul, and all the requirements of wealth and grandeur. 22. Let not the rich therefore presume on his riches, nor the poor in his poverty yield to despondence, nor the providence of Allah dispense of happiness to them both. Islam. I want that chapter just to resonate with us to the extent to understand it's a responsibility to want to be the one to have it all, and everybody wants to be the one to have it all. But then, to whom much is given, much is required. So everybody wants to have it all. So the best thing we can do is pick up the right morals, the right foundation, so we can respectfully acquire and get what we need, and then have the right mindset to look upon other people and still have the humility to give, and then be tough enough to still withstand and hold our own, and know when it's not fitting to even handicap people. So we want to help everybody, and then if it comes, this person is worthy, or after you give it to them, you give them some water, they want you to drink for them, want you to help them drink. They're supposed to dig into themselves. You can bring them to it. So this what we're doing is wealth of life, wealth of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So we want to be the wealthy in mind and heart, so we can be able to bestow what we need to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Righteously. Islam. Islamism. Islam.
Holy instructions of the young, the rich and the poor. Woo, man. That's something sometimes you can't unify right there. Because I like to think of the poor as poor mind, and the rich is rich mind. Because a fool and his money surely going to part ways. Islam. And when you know what's infinite, then you're a rich man. Because the material things come and go. Finite things don't change. So only the poor people cherish what? Cars and nice clothes and these type of things, right? But the rich don't even wear this type of stuff because they're rich in their mind. They know how to take every dollar and reinvest it. Things right here. These 5 things we need to do as a government right here. See, this is make you rich right here. These 5 things: a school, a court, a bank, a clinic, and grocery. See, the rich, they control these things. See, we attend these things. We let these things control us. But see, we have to return back to these things so we can enrich our community. Because our community is poor. But why is they poor? Because we don't have the necessities we need. So we have to reestablish these things right here. We need a school right here. Temporary. We need a court right here. Oh yeah, we got a meeting coming this week. This weekend, I'm gonna let you know with the consul, so we can apply for our visas. The bank, treasurer. I'm gonna have to get with you on that the bank demonstration. You gotta finish that. I've been behind on work. But these are the things we need to stop. The clinic, grocery. We gotta hide these things, boys. Because without these things right here, the prophet said, silver and gold and commerce is the true wealth. And without these, you have nothing. Nothing. The true treasures. The Koran says that the man that murders, they build empires for it. But the man that has plenty of children knows the true treasures of life. Treasures is the youth. See, I come from what you call Chirac, right? Chicago to Mecca, what the prophet called it. And one thing, I was on the phone with my brother yesterday, and something dawned on me. What did Larry Hoover and them do? He went for the youth. They got us 6 years old, 5 years old, and forced us in an organization. We didn't have no choice. You couldn't choose to be no GD, no BD. You don't have no choice. Mama couldn't stop it either. When you come up out of that schoolyard, you had a 6-point star right there. And that's going to tell you what you had to be. See, they marked our land. They governed the land. And nobody could stop it except the police. They put an end to all that. So now it's a new day and age. Where now you got them same organizations out of control and the police stopping that right now. Because those organizations are poor. They took the riches, our treasures, and made them poor now. So now we have to restore these things with our own school. We have to take the youth and we have to school them and bring them in an organization. Ain't no more choices. Ain't no more choices. You in this organization. Because this is the only sole foundation. It's going to come in here, uplift you, teach you who you is, and teach you how to be what you know. No other organization can do that. So these type of things is our goal. If we don't establish these things, I'm going to tell you right now, we in here wasting our time. Laid this lick down in 1913 AD. We passed 100 years. We got these secret lessons. We got to take these off this book and put them into action. It don't do no good us keep coming here and reading these lessons and breaking down what we see as a measure of what these is. We have to put these into work. How are we going to put them to work? Right on that board. We're going to start with the name correction. Go down and counter record as a nation. Let them know who we is. That way, when you pulled over and they try to put you back in the caste system, they already got noticed. Then if you got a background like me, I got some felonies when I didn't know who I was. That's why you're going to do the name change to court order. That's how you erase the felony zone. Because see, finite things is gonna change. Then we go down to the Social Security office and we correct those Social Security cards and numbers. Because they got us on a Negro, Black, and color. Because as soon as you get pulled over or they run your credit, they already know who you is. Then you get your identification cards together. Now we can operate because we identified ourselves. There's no more confusion. So this is what we're going through in Sunday school. Bring your laptops, bring your notepads and pens. Time to learn some civics, how to identify yourself. Because now we know who we is. Now we got to be from the spirit. You here to be the strength of our life, to overcome the Lord's self. What is the Lord's self? This flesh. We got to overcome this flesh. It says, let me go into this Koran one more time, say what it said we use. I'm going to go back into chapter 1. It says here, man is a thought of Allah. I'm skipping to paragraph 2. Man is a thought of Allah. All thoughts of Allah are infinite. They are not measured up in time. For the things that are concerned with time begin and end. The thoughts of Allah are the everlasting, of the past into the never-ending days to come. And so is man a spirit man. But man, like every other thought of Allah, was but a seed that held within itself the potencies of Allah, just as the seed of any plant of earth holds deep within itself the attributes of every part of that special plant. So spirit man, as seed of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of Allah. Now seeds are perfect, yea, as perfect as the source from which they come. But they are not unfolded into life made manifest. The child is as perfect as the mother is. So man, the seed must be deeply planted in a soil that he might grow, unfold, as does the bud unfold to show the flower. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah was fully ordained to be the Lord of the plane of soul and the plane of things made manifest. That's what you is. All right, so. But we are the Lord of the plane of things made manifest. We here to manifest these things. Manifest the school. Manifest the court. Manifest our own bank, our own clinic and grocery. We the Lord of this. That Quran say, we have a hiding station. I'm going to the caveat emptor, reading from the prophet. This out your Moorish literature. The prophet said, Moors are men. And we know man is man. And man is mind. So collectively we are men. Moors are men, upright, independent, and fearless. See, that right there by itself is a lie. Because if we are mind, Moors are the mind, who's upright. Upright means just, fair. And we stand upright. See, we got the 33 vertebrae in our spinal cord. Now, every species don't got that. You got a crocodile. Got a straight spine like you do, but can't walk upright his whole life. So that proves to you that you was given a heightened station for a reason. It says we independent. States, we supposed to be an independent nation. Moors are independent. Do for yourself. See, in Christianity, they told us that the Savior was Jesus. and to wait on his return. But while we was waiting, we was falling into the graveyard. Ain't no more waiting. And we fear. That means you was born with fear. But when you gonna lose the fear? When you gonna stop being scared and go down here and tell these people we're gonna be independent? We're gonna have an independent school, an independent court, bank, clinic, and grocery. Because as long as we dependent, we can't fight the hand that feeds us. And it says, who care for their loved ones and follow destiny, which is not uncertain nor unknown. Then it's time to put in the work. Because the prophet gave us instructions, so follow him. We done followed everybody else. I done followed every Hoover. I done followed my Koran and led me to the penitentiary. But I ain't followed this noble messenger. The prophet. Because when you follow him, he already laid the footprints. So we can lay more footprints so those behind us can see where we're going. It's time to walk the walk. It says they are fortified with impregnable doctrine built upon love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It is their folly at its greatest height for smelly culprits with their insidious plans to invade such realms. So be well, because caveat emptor means buyer, be well, Moors. So when you come in here, be well. Because see, you have those smelly culprits out here with their insidious plans, trying to invade this realm. But that is falsehood. See, they want to invade you because they know this is the true foundation, so they're trying to destroy this foundation because they don't want us to manifest these 5 things we need to manifest because they know we the Lord's. It says they try, but their own black planning brings down wrath upon their heads like the sword old Democles had, and treed and skirtless cunnings found a difficult path to travel within the ranks of the Moors. This is so because the Moorish movement has been well planned by the prophet Noble Ali, whose latent powers are abundant, unknown, and may be called into action as a matter of defense at any time. He knows the people within his ranks who are interested. They are the vanguard of the movement. As the Moorish hordes increase here in America, God in this movement. Because the neophytes are the ones who seeking the light. That's the Neo in the Matrix. These are the ones who are here to put in the work. See, that interest you have in this movement is not just an innocent thing. See, it's very special because that means you listening to Allah. And Allah told you, no, it's something to this one. And you listen to the first man. And now we here with a game plan. It said all the Moors are active, not passive. See, we don't need no more passive aggression. We activate. All the true Moors are active, not passive. A member's interest can only be in one direction, and having traveled over the road years before, the prophet knows where every member is along the road. See, our holy prophet, he knows where we at along this road. See, our interest can only be in one direction. We can't be worried about trying to always this and that. If you're trying to do a business, get some money, let's get the money so we can support this. What are we doing? So all our interest has to be on these 5. We have to become independent. Really. Prophet said a few feet below is another road where schemers work, where the traitors gleam and the culprits bask in the sun. They think they on the same road with true Moors, but the Moors are high above on a pinnacle, where they might view the destruction as they fall for the last time, and their bones bleach in a sultry midday sun. See, you're going to go around people, they're going to think they on the level with you. They're on this road with us. But see, they road leading to destruction. Because who they follow? They follow the destructionists. The ones that never did their good for them. Right? But see, we ain't on the same road. See, we on the high road. We on the pinnacle. See, they a few feet below. So they not 5. They only a few is 3. They're only 3 feet below. But we went up 3 step ladder of salvation. Faith, belief, and fruition. Oh, I said that wrong. Belief, faith, and fruition. Because first you got to have belief. See, that's the interest. You believe in something higher than yourself. You believe we can hide these things. So we can believe we can hide these things. Let's have faith in it. Let's know how to do it. Because faith is what you know. So do we know how to start a school, a court, bank, clinic, and grocery? Let's find out. Then we can bring it into fruition. And that's how you be the Lord of things manifest. Steps of salvation. Hungry scavengers flying high, catch sin, devouring, leaving, crying out. Calvary got into it. Cast out the dead car. The Moors high above see these plotters purveyors, the worst that exists. Hurl themselves down by their own works. That's the hawk's way. Woo! I love that one. Because it's time to cast out that dead carcass, man. We don't need no more dead weight. See everybody in here? These are active movements, not the passive ones. We don't need no more passive movements. Islam? What time we got, man? 9:12? Okay. Secretary, you want to step up? I'm going to introduce the secretary, y'all. Islam, I know it's y'all first time seeing this sister. Now, she come all the way from Khalifa Land, California, Los Angeles. We still like to call it Los Angeles. We come from the, what you call it, the Empire. She tell everybody she from the Empire. The Inland Empire. Now, this sister been in this temple before I was even in the temple. This sister been a faithful member before I was a faithful member. This sister right here is a true example of a Moabite. This is our very own secretary, who's been a faithful member, and my wife to be. I wouldn't have it no other way. I give it the floor, secretary. Islam.
Praise the Lord, giving perfect praise to Allah, honest to his prophet, noble the industrious, the illustrious, noble Jolly. Honor to Noble Jolly, Most High Bank. Honor to the AGS, honor to our treasurer, all of our staff, honors to the grand body out in Mecca, And honors to everything Moorish. All things Moorish. Honors to our flag. Okay, so I want to read chapter 7. Friendship of Jesus and Lamas. Jesus explains to Lamas the meaning of truth. 1. Among the priests of Jagannath was one who loved the Jewish Lord. Lamas Brahmas was the name by which the priest was known. One day, as Jesus and Lamas walked alone in the plaza of Jagannath, Lamas said, "My Jewish master, what is truth?" And Jesus said, "Truth is the only thing that changes not." 4. In all the world, there are two things. The one is truth, the other is falsehood. And falsehood is that which seems to be. 5. Now, truth is aught and has no cause, and yet is the cause of everything. 6. Falsehood is naught, and yet it is the manifest of right. 7. Whatever has been made will be unmade. That which began must end. 8. All things that can be seen by human eyes are manifest of aught, are not, and so must pass away. The things we see are but reflexes just appearing, while the ethers vibrate so and so, and when conditions change, they disappear. The holy breath is truth, is that which was and is and evermore shall be. It cannot change nor pass away. 11. Lamas said, "You answer well. Now what is man?" 12. And Jesus said, "Man is the truth and falsehood is strangely mixed." 13. Man is the breath made flesh. So truth and falsehood are conjoined in him. And then they thrive, and naught goes down, and man as truth abides. 14. Again, Lamas asks, "What do you say of power?" 15. And Jesus said, "It is a manifest. It is the result of force. It is but naught. It is illusion, nothing more. Force changes not, but power changes as the ethers change." 16. Force is the will of Allah and is omnipotent, and power is that will and manifest, directed by the breath. 17. There is a power in the wind, a power in the waves, a power in the lightning stroke, a power in the human arm, a power in the eye. 18. The ethers call these powers to be, and thought of Elohim, of angel, man, or other thinking things directs the force. When it has done its work, the power is no more. 19. Again, Lamas asks, of understanding, what have you to say? 20. And Jesus said, it is the rock on which man builds himself. It is the gnosis of the ought and of the naught, of falsehood and of truth. 21. It is the knowledge of the lower self, the sensing of the powers of man himself. 22. Again, Lamas asks, of wisdom, what have you to say? 23. And Jesus said, it is the consciousness that man is ought, that Allah and man are one. 24. That naught is not, that power is but illusion, that heaven and earth are held. Heaven and earth and hell are not above, around, below, but in which in the light of all becomes naught, and Allah is all. 25. Lamas asks, pray, what is faith? 26. And Jesus said, faith is the surety of the omnipotence of Allah and man, and certainty that man will reach deific life. 27. Salvation is the ladder reaching from the heart of man to the heart of Allah. 28. It has 3 steps. Belief is first, and this is what man thinks, perhaps, is true. True. 9. And faith is next, and this is what man knows is true. 30. Fruition is the last, and this is man himself, the truth. 31. Belief is lost in faith, and in fruition, faith is lost. A man is saved when he has reached deific life, when he and Allah are one. I want to go to, jump back to chapter 1, to the, I don't know where's that for you guys, but the paragraph where it says, now see the perfect. Things are perfect, yes, perfect as the source from which they come, but they are not unfolded into life made manifest. The child is as perfect as the mother is. So man, the seed must be deeply planted in a soil that he might grow, unfold, as does the bud unfold to show the flower. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah was fully ordained to be the Lord of the plane of soul and of the plane of things made manifest. Now, when I think of these two together, this chapter 1 and chapter 7, and it's talking about a seed, it reminds me of, like when we have an apple seed, for example. This is still, as it says, the seed is as perfect as the source from which it comes, right? But it has to be deeply planted in the soil that it might grow and unfold. So we can't have an apple seed and plant it in sand, right? Because that's not the environment that's going to help it grow into the fullest potential that it needs to grow, and it's not going to grow into that apple tree. So I think of the same for us. We need to be in an environment around like minds that we can help, that we can grow. An environment. In fact, it's a new moon tonight in the sign of Virgo, which rules the environment. So I really wanted to just point that out, and knowing that understanding that the gnosis of the higher self and the lower self. Islam. I yield the floor.
Islam. We give you Allah is the greatest. Who's the greatest?
Allah is the greatest.
Who's the greatest?
Allah is the greatest.
Who's the greatest?
Allah is the greatest.
It's Islam. Woo! That's a beautiful lesson right there. What is man? He had to talk to Lamar. Said man is truth and falsehood, strangely mixed. Strange mix right there. How can you be truth and falsehood? Strangely mixed. Because you spirit. Man is spirit. Clothed with soul, clothed with flesh. But these things are finite. So these things are falsehood. See, you look at this body, it's falsehood. It can change. You can go from skinny to big, big to skinny. You can do tattoos on it, remove the tattoos. As the sisters say, the soil. You can't plant no seed in the sand. Ooh, that's a good measure right there. It's love. It's love. And I think of the type of woman you choose. It's love. See, we got to get the women in the temple. In the wrong soil, Islam, what's going to come out of that? Because it says right here, now seeds are perfect. Yes. And it says, the child is as perfect as the mother is. Islam? So we got to get the sisters in the temple before you even try to plant your soil. Because that's staying out there. Islam, those the ones that cast it out. And she the first teacher. I want to go to chapter 2. The education of Mary and Elizabeth and Zoe in Egypt. That's page 6 in the Quran. The last book. What page is that in the Bible? Page 5 in the Bible. Because when I honest all the sisters, so I knew member Janae. I'm bad with names. I get it. Don't worry about it. After I said it 100 times. I'll honest to you, sister. Because see, the first thing after chapter 1, go to chapter 2, the education of Mary and Elizabeth and Zoe in Egypt. See, the sisters have to have a certain level of education. They got to be educated so they can educate the seed that you planted in. I'm going to skip down a couple of verses. I'm going to go down to where verse 11. No, pardon yourself. Verse 10. Let's start at verse 10. And Elihu said to Mary and Elizabeth, you may esteem yourselves thrice blessed, for you are chosen mothers of long promised sons. Verse 11, who are ordained to lay a solid rock, a sure foundation stone on which the temple of the perfect man shall rest, a temple that shall never be destroyed. We measure time by cycle ages, and the gate to every age we deem as a milestone in the journey of the race. An age is passed, the gate into another age flies open at the age touch of time. This is the preparation age of soul, the kingdom of Emmanuel, of Allah and man. Now here you go. Verse 14. And he, your son, will be the first to tell the news and teach the gospel of goodwill to men and peace on earth. A mighty work is theirs. For carnal man won't not the light, they love the dark. And when the light shines in the dark, they comprehend it not. 16. We call these sons revealers of the light. But they must have the light before they can reveal the light. 17. And you must teach your sons. And set these souls on fire with love and holy zeal. And make them conscious of their mentions to the sons of men. 18. Teach them that Allah and man are one, but that through carnal thoughts, in words, in deeds, man tore himself away from Allah, debased himself. Teach that the holy breath will make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. That not can make them one beloved, but Allah so loved the world that he has clothed his son in flesh that man can comprehend. 21, the only Savior of the world is love. And Jesus, son of Mary, comes to manifest that love to men. 22, now love cannot manifest until its way has been prepared, and not can rend the rock and bring down lofty hills and fill the valleys up, and thus prepare the way for purity. But purity in life men do not comprehend, so it too must come in flesh. And you, Elizabeth, are blessed, because yours is purity made flesh. And he shall pave the way for love. Islam? So that's the importance of planting that seed in that soil. See, she has this womb. See, that's the first school. So whatever she knows goes into The wife, the woman, is the law of the children. See, she's the law of the children. But see, we the life giver, we contain the seed. But they gonna listen to the mama first. See, I dominate the women. It says, wife, you must obey your husband. Because she don't obey you, how the children don't obey you. She don't know how the children don't know themselves. And they come from the law, and the woman being the law don't even listen to her. But see, we gotta be a certain way. We gotta be upright. Men, upright, fearless, who care for their loved ones. So all honesty, you sisters, because without you sisters, we don't. See, when you look on that Mason logo, what they got? They got the sister on there with the star crescent upside down. Because they want us not to be upright. They want to cause confusion. They want to take the woman and use her as the instrument to destroy the nation. And how do they do that? By teaching her falsehood. Teaching her not of herself. See, it says, esteem yourself in the shop. It says, esteem yourself. Woman, esteem yourself. Because they gave you low self-esteem. See, they gave you a false imagery of beauty. So you got to learn how to esteem yourself back. Let's go to chapter of duty of husband. Chapter 22. Let's close out with this one. 54. Things that we got to look out for. These are the ways that we can help our sisters. These are the ways that sisters can help themselves. See, as a husband, you have a duty. Just don't, I'm a husband and that's it. No. Acts 7 says what? Husband, you must support your wife and children. See, we always think of finances. You got to support their esteem, their self-esteem as well, because it's been destroyed. Read this, it says, verse 1, take unto thyself a wife, and obey the ordinance of Allah. See, the wife ain't the only thing got to obey something. The husband, we got to obey the ordinance of Allah. What is the ordinance? That's the laws. See, these right here is our laws, Constitution. So everybody got to obey somebody. Take unto thyself a wife and become a faithful member of society. See, this is our society. The Moorish Temple of America, Unity Temple 84. If we not a faithful member, how a woman going to follow us to be a faithful member? It says, but examine with care and fix not suddenly. On thy present choice depends thy future happiness. So that means watch her closely. Watch her burdens, because care is a burden. And fix not suddenly. Don't be quick to grab her up and marry. Because we know something wrong with the sisters. Something wrong with us. Look at them and judge them. We got to judge ourselves too. Now this is in the lessons right here, verse 3. If much of her time is destroyed in dressing and adornment, if she is adorned with her own beauty and delight with her own praise, if she laugh much and talk loud, if her foot abideth not in her father's house, and her eyes with boldness robe on the faces of men, though her beauty was as the sun in the firmament of heaven. Turn our face from her charms, turn our feet from her paths, and suffer not thy soul to be ensnared by the allurements of imagination. See, that's the thing they did to the sister. They taught the sister how to destroy her time. Dress and adorn. They told her how to be enamored with her own beauty, delighted with her own praise. You hear the sister say, well, I put this on, I do this and this for me. Well, we don't do nothing for us, do we? Do it for the sisters. We never delight with our own praise. We try to get that sister's praise. If you look at the birds, the most colorful birds is the male. The one with all the beautiful feathers, that's the male bird. But she don't know it. She don't even know she ain't even got to do nothing. She ain't got to enhance the beauty. She is the beauty. And Allah already made you in the image and the likeness of Allah already. Read. Verse 4. But when thou findest sensibility of heart, joined with softness of manners, and accomplished mind, with a form agreeable to thy fancy, take her home to thy house. She is worthy to be thy friend, thy companion in life, and the wife of thy bosom. See, that's the things we got to look for and transform her into, to have some sensibility in her heart. She got to have some sense. She got to have some softness in her mouth. Brothers don't want no hard woman. You harder than me. It says, take her home to thy house. Because she going to make that house into a home. She wasn't a home until you took her home, till you took her there. Because see, home is where the heart is. It says first she can be the friend, then the companion, then the wife. Verse 5 say, oh, cherish her as a blessing sent to thee from heaven. Let the kindness of thy behavior endear thee to thy heart. See, once you get her, you got to cherish her. She's sent from heaven. See, happiness within. Islam. Treat her, therefore, with respect that thy servants may obey her. See, we heard the saying, freak in the sheets. She's the mistress of thy house, but you got to treat her with respect when you're in front of the people, so the servants can obey her. Because if you're going to obey her or treat her with some respect. It says, oppose not her inclination without cause. She is the partner of thy cares, make her also the companion of thy pleasures. She inclined to do things. She gonna want to do all types of outrageous things. But you can't oppose it unless you got to. No, we ain't doing that. Wow. You just want to shut her out? She is the partner of your burdens. And she truly loves you. She wrapped up. So make her also the companion of our pleasures. She's supposed to be right there. She's supposed to be the first person. But see, we want to kick it with the homies first. Celebrate with the bros. But the bros ain't there all the time. They ain't there when you're sick and need nurturing. It's her right there, bringing you back to health. When you need your back rubbed, because you've been busting your back all day, breaking your back, trying to work. Verse 8, reprove of faults with gentleness, exact not her obedience with rigor. See, you got to be gentle when you found fault in it. And you can't exact her obedience with rigor. You can't force it. She got to want to be obedient. She got to want to obey because she got to know who she is, the man who's obeying the ordinance of Allah. So, that, because she knows this man is following the prophet to a place not uncertain. He's outright fearless, who care for his loved ones. Verse 9 say, trust thy secrets, and her breast, her counsels are sincere, thou shalt not be deceived. Because if she really cares about you, she's not going to deceive you. She's going to give you some of the best advice you probably can hear, so you need to listen to her. Even though she's supposed to obey you, you're supposed to listen to her. Because she's going to give you good counsels. It says, be faithful to her bed, for she is the mother of thy children. That's already self-explanatory right there, man. 11, when pain and sickness assault her, let thy tenderness soothe her affliction. A look from thee of pity and love shall alleviate her grief, or mitigate her pain, and be of more avail than 10 physicians. See, we know she take care of her, but you got to take care of her too. That's one. Verse 12. Consider the tenderness of her sex, the delicacy of her frame, and be not severe to her weakness, but remember thy own imperfections. Don't forget your own imperfections now. When we try to reprove her faults, we try to oppose her inclination. When we try to fix her suddenly, take time, oh. Be patient with her. Remember, you ain't get this way overnight. It takes time. My coach used to tell me in basketball, he say, practice don't make perfect. Practice make it permanent. So if you practice something over and over and over the wrong way, you will always do it the wrong way. So you got to practice doing these things the right way with it. Is on? So that's the lesson on that for today. And I want to go into the announcements. Now, if y'all haven't got y'all name correction papers done, get up with me. You need to get that done by Monday. The simplification process. We're going to be going through this on Sunday school. Okay, Sunday school, we're going to continue the name correction. We went through we went through the document. Okay, y'all got them definitions, right? Look them up, them definitions, so you know these words, what it means, the etymology and the legalese. Then we're going to go into the exemplification process of itself, because we done had some troubles in Newark, New Jersey, going through certain court recordings and things like that. So I got another remedy for us on that. So we're going to go through the exemplification process, what it means to exemplify records. So you heard of, if you're in a secure party where you heard of authentication, but we doing exemplification. Okay? So Sunday school is going to be very, very special. Once again, bring your laptops, notebooks, and also another announcement for Sunday school. 1 p.m. start time. That's good with you, AGS? Absolutely. Islam, that's good with you, Secretary? Islam. Because we got those in other territories, the time frame is different. So we starting at 11 a.m., Cali time is 9 a.m. So the treasurer, that's 9 a.m. for us. Islam. And then we got some that's in different time frames. So we gotta mend this so we can get in here, because I ain't got time to get here at 11 in the morning. I'm just not waking up. So we're gonna get some extra time to get in here. 1 p.m. we're gonna be here. Because we growing. And as we grow, we're gonna manifest more and more. Another thing, we're gonna have the court, the consular court. We set up the very first temple consular court that's backed by actual government. Now, I just got word today that the other consular court's falling apart. Just like the prophet said, would. Because they're not backed by the prophet. So you got to put the prophet up front. You got to have an actual government. You got to have government officials. Another announcement. We're going to start having events up there. We're going to start doing Saturday parties up there. No alcohol, though. Not that type of party. But we're going to have some events in here, some engagements. Different things we're going to have in here. I'm going to have a list of things, not tomorrow, but going forward, September, new month. My soul return is coming, September 28th. So we're going to get prepared for that. That's going to be bro, hey, we're going to turn it all the way up for the prophet. Also, going forward, convention October 15th. So what I'm planning on doing is maybe rent us a van or some car, and we can all go together. Get us an Airbnb there, so we can all go to the Mecca and we can witness this. So we might come out cheaper doing that. That's right. October 15th, the convention. So we want to prepare early. We don't want to get late on that. You know what I mean? Because we got to get there and show out for Houston. We the only temple in Texas. Put it like that. There's other temples might be out here, but we gonna show out for Texas. So I'm gonna get to looking into the budgets, getting the budget together, looking into how much things gonna cost and all that. What other announcement I want to make? I think that's about it. Once we go past the name correction, September, we're going into the Social Security status change. So that's why I want everybody hurry up and get that on. So I don't want to leave nobody behind. Tomorrow we're going to be in there working on paperwork early. And we can go down next and do the Social Security correction. Then we'll get the one-day passports. I got the procedure on how to do these type of things. Get one same-day passports. We need these type of things on deck. We're growing. There's people that's actually coming in right now. We're growing. But we only looking for the faithful members. Because people come and go in here all the time. And I know you faithful, you bring faithful, but y'all didn't see people come and go already. In a matter of 2 weeks. It ain't long. Because fighting out things are subject to change. The truth changes not. So with that, we're gonna close out. Governor, you there, Mo? Governor there. Close us out with the last one. We're gonna follow the Moorish American prayer.
Islam.
Government
To be proclaimed.
Last one.
To be proclaimed at every meeting. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claimed that I was only a joke and unreal, but now since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting fund. The ones that pay their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finances so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes to jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Islam. All rise for the reading of the Moorish American prayer, face the east. Hills touching where none of you behind you. Spread your wings. 5 to the left, 2 to the right. Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe. Allah, the Father of the universe. The Father of love. Father of love. Truth. Truth. Peace. Peace. Freedom. Freedom. And justice. And justice. Allah is my protector. Allah is my protector. My God. My God. And my salvation. And my salvation. By night. By night. And by day. And by day. Through his holy prophet. Through his holy prophet. Drew Ali. Drew Ali. Amen. Amen. Islam. You can now greet each other, Moors. Islam. I keep saying, thank you, brother. Love, thank you. Thank you for coming, being faithful member. Islam, brother Moors. Islam, peace and love. Sunday school, tune in. Tomorrow, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Freight Broker. Let's come together for the Freight Broker demonstration. $7 p.m. I say AM.